listening to Blue Collar Takes with your hosts, Pat and Ben.
Welcome back, everybody. Pat, my brother, what is up?
Yeah, man. Hey, sorry everyone.
It's
My
been a minute.
my healthy family has led to this hiatus again. So, I think I've got my voice back now.
Yeah,
So I told you, I tried to tell Ben, "Hey man, just do this by yourself." He's like, "Nope, it's not the same."
it isn't the same.
I didn't know you were so sentimental.
It's just not the same, man. I mean, it would just not be the same
Yeah, I
dynamic.
got you. There's
There's
no
not
way
not a
I could
chance.
like we've talked about it with other people, like other people that try to instigate stuff just to do it. And they're like, Ben talks so much. Why don't you? And I'm like, because I don't have the memory. I can't, like, I'm sitting here on my phone. I'm quiet because I've got to look this shit up. I can't remember what you're talking about.
But it's just it flows a certain way. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
for sure. For sure. It works
And
good.
I I'm a talker. That's what
Mm.
I do.
Yeah. I just don't have the mental capacity to hold that much information.
No, I'm glad that you're saying I've got a lot of mental capacity. However, we both know that's not true.
Well, I mean, for some stuff, for other stuff, you're a complete waterhead.
Yeah, I am a waterhead. Can we say that now? I mean, are we? I mean,
Can we
is
not?
that still?
Was
Is
that
that
always
still?
a thing that we couldn't say?
I thought maybe that was a
I
bad one, but
thought that was just kind of a descriptive thing
I think it's okay if I say it
for
about
not.
myself, right?
I think it's okay if I say it about you.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it.
All right, all right, all right. Sorry if that offended anyone. I didn't know that was a bad thing. I thought it was just like an insult.
Not that you should really give a fuck,
Well, I
but
do a little bit, especially with people with special needs,
yes,
because
absolutely.
that's fucked up, right?
Yeah,
And I don't mean that to be derogatory towards anybody like that.
no, just me.
Just you. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
No,
we're good. Yeah, I think so.
I got it. I got it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So what do you want to talk about, man? I mean, the world's melting down over
Yeah,
fucking.
there's so much. It's been like 2 weeks since we've done this.
Hmm.
Um, we've got like all the people like that have been posting just unhinged stuff, like the
That,
Democrats, like
bro.
the video you sent me today,
Yeah,
and
yeah. What in the?
we'll play it in a little bit, but they are and I can't remember. Somebody tweeted and is like, have you noticed that the Democrats are swearing a lot more? Like
Oh, they're
they're
unhinged.
fucking lost. And I saw another thing for a CNN poll maybe that asked
Yeah,
people to name the Democratic leader.
they can't name one.
It's AOC.
Oh my lord.
She got the highest percentage of who like
What
and
was it like?
that's
10%?
yeah, it was 10%. So it wasn't
Yeah,
like it was a high percentage, but
right.
that's how in shambles they are. They don't have a plan. They don't have a strategy. It's just obstruct in any way you can.
Right.
That's
I
it.
mean, it's
That's it.
just it's insane.
It's courts. It's courts.
You're starting to see the total collapse of the Democrat Party. And I said this to you on text, like that's good
Mm-hmm.
for us and bad for us. And it's good
Mm-hmm.
for us in the way that the Democrat Party has to be fucking completely tore down and rebuilt because they are so corrupt. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
they are honestly, they're the majority of the corruption in Washington, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what's bad for us, and a lot of people who are conservative are going to disagree with me, and that's fine. I don't care. But
It's okay.
what makes it bad, what makes this bad is if the checks and balance to the
Correct.
conservative party is gone and it's fractured into 100 pieces. Well, now you can have a monopoly. Then you can have some people come in that do some really stupid shit that are conservatives,
100%.
and there's nothing we can do about it, right? So like, you want a healthy Democrat Party. You want that balance to be there, that check for that check and balance to be there. They just don't have it. They don't.
Yeah.
They aren't healthy right now. It's insane
Yeah. Well, I
what you're
mean,
starting to see.
you look at like how the Democrats got this way, and it was because the Republican Party couldn't keep them in check. That's how they
No,
got there.
No, well, and I
and
think the
and then your own party starts, they see that this works maybe once because we let some stuff slide on, well, you know what, would it'll go away, and then like they're like, oh, let's use that, that's working, and then it snowballed, it got out of control for them, and this is where they're at. But you can see how that would set up on a similar path. Maybe it's not going to be the same issues, but
right,
you can see how that would do the same thing for the Republicans if the Democrats are so weak.
absolutely, and that's the that's the line we have to walk. We have to walk that tightrope and make sure that we don't go so far to the right that we, you know, lose what gains we've made, right?
Correct.
Because we can go hard line right and fuck things up just as much as the Democrats have gone lose your fucking nuts. They're insane. Lose your marbles left, right? I mean, it's insane what you're starting to see out of this party. And
Hmm.
we talked about it. We're like, yeah, they're in decline, they're fracturing, and that's the reality we're starting to see now. There is not a one of them. I mean, like when you start to see things like that super cut after Trump's speech on the House floor, right? And they do the super cut, and they all say the same exact lines, and they're putting out this information the same like the news media did, right?
Hmm.
Every one of them, same exact lines, same exact cadence, it's absolute garbage. Like
Yeah.
they have nothing to stand on. What are they going to stand on? We want to chemically castrate your kids. We want, women athletes to suffer at the hands of men, trans, women in their sports. We want people to identify as fucking toasters and cats and whatever the fuck they want. A fucking turtle. You sent me that, and I'm like, you have got to be absolutely shitting me. I mean, what are these people standing on? They have nothing they can stand on.
Yeah.
And we want bigger government, higher taxes, more control over your everyday lives, higher regulation, and we don't want you to have anything of convenience that could hurt the planet. That's their motto right now, and none of it is for the people. And you're starting to see like it's all falling apart. And man, are they fucking losing it? But at the same time, they're
Hmm.
so mentally unhealthy. Like I didn't know this. I didn't know this until Trump his first time around, his first administration, where you could see how mentally unhealthy some of the people on the left were. The screaming in the streets at the sky, like the constant, rants and ravings of I'm going to leave the country if Trump is elected. And now you're seeing it so much right now. It's just like, what? Wait, are you? I
Hmm.
actually, I feel bad for some of these people, right? Like they're living their lives like this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's insane. But the turtle, the fucking
Yeah,
turtle.
we'll talk about that one first. So for those that haven't seen this, a member, um, I'll just read it, I guess. A member advising Oregon's Health Authority, OHA, on best practices and policies in mental health identifies as a terrapin species.
Turtle.
JD Holt, who goes by the name JD Terrapin, uses turtle pronouns. Hello, everybody. It's JD. I use they, them, and turtle for my pronouns. She is part of a panel of experts advising the state on mental health.
Thinking, just let that stew for a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have somebody who identifies as a fucking turtle advising people on mental health.
Yeah.
That's legit. That's legit. That's not the Babylon. That sounds like it should be the Babylon Bee, but that's not the fucking Babylon Bee. That's legit.
No,
That's real.
that was from the New York Post.
That's unbelievable, right? Uh, and it's you always see these, or I don't know if you have, but I've seen dozens of memes. The difference between the Trump administration and the Biden administration, like people are saying Trump's administration is a bunch of people that are mentally incompetent, and then you see a list of the Biden administration. I mean, like Sam Brinton, like all these people that are just they're not normal. They're not mentally sound
Yeah.
individuals, right? I mean, a guy who's dressed up in leather and high-heeled leather boots with another guy on a leather leash with a dog mask on, naked, who then goes and steals people's freaking clothing from the
Luggage.
airport.
Just the
Yes,
luggage.
their luggage.
Anything.
And then he wears the dress. And the lady caught him because it was a one of a kind dress.
Yeah, she made it. It's
She
her
made it.
design.
Yes.
And there's only one.
There's only one. Look, that's my dress. No, it's not. Yes, it is. You took
Yes, it
my
is.
fucking luggage from the
Yeah,
airport, you
yeah.
piece of shit. And I mean, it's, I don't know. Like, what do you, who, what, for fuck's sakes, two dudes got caught banging each other on video in the House, in
Yeah.
Congress,
Yeah.
in the halls of Congress.
What
You remember
happened with
when
that?
frick,
Nothing.
nothing,
Nothing.
nothing, nothing
Nothing.
happened. Biden had transgender women freaking topless, or
Yes.
transgender men topless on the
At the,
freaking White House lawn.
that was at the Easter egg hunt, wasn't it?
Yes. Yes. I mean, these people are fucking nuts. I mean, Bernie just had somebody, a trans activist
Oh
on.
yeah, the singer.
Did you see that? Like, what is wrong with this party cannot be undone, and they don't get it. They just keep doubling down. Their game right now is Trump is bad. Trump is bad, and they do not get it that people are looking at them going, "Y'all have lost your goddamn mind. You've lost your fucking mind. What are you doing?" At some point, you would think sanity has to come back, but dude, I mean, how many memes have you seen of people being like, somebody's got to go after Trump. Somebody's got to take him out. Who's going to do it? Like, how many of these videos are you going to see on it?
We
They're
got we got
everywhere.
we got a couple of them.
Play one. I mean, they're fucking everywhere.
This is aggressive for the first one, but this is the one I pulled up.
Get it?
That was one of them.
I couldn't hear it.
You couldn't hear it at all?
No, no, I couldn't hear it.
Oh, well, son of a bitch.
Uh-oh.
What?
Technical difficulties again.
I don't know how. It was loud. My mic's on. Can you hear it?
No.
That's weird. You can hear me talking, but you
Yes,
can't hear
I
my
hear you.
video playing in my microphone.
Yeah, I can't hear that.
That's weird. All right, well, I'll just post it.
Yeah.
Check out our X page. We'll post that. I posted the turtle lady.
Unreal.
That's weird that you can't hear that now. Well,
No,
that
I didn't hear
sucks
it.
for the rest of the stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe
Oh,
you can
well.
try.
Let me see. Which one was it?
That one was from American Papa Bear.
It was the mental health lady.
No, that one was I don't give a fuck. Just kill him.
Ugh. Hold on.
Oh, yeah, I got the other one. Well, I wonder if you can hear it on my computer.
Yeah.
Here's the other one we're gonna play. That's all the way up and it doesn't play. So I'm guessing you won't hear that one either.
Yeah, I'll see if this. What am I doing here?
Nope. That's so weird. Now your mic's all jacked up. Well, yeah, it sounds like you're underwater.
Well, now.
There you go.
Oh, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, that's super fucking weird.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah. Okay. Well, okay, we'll play them. There are a couple of them from American Papa Bear. I'll post them. I'm posting them right now. Just retweeting them.
Yeah.
And then he's got a bunch on there.
Oh, bro, it's insane. Taylor Bull has a couple too where I was just like, you got to be fucking kidding me. The guy who said that he wants all Republican women. This guy calls himself a sane human being, is what he says. And he says, I don't care. I'm going to call for it. I want all Republican women to be gang raped on national TV. I want to
Yeah.
see them destroyed on national TV. And he said, probably because I'm a sane human. What?
Yeah,
What?
dude. What the hell?
What? This is the party of the, hashtag me too. Trust everybody. Listen to all women. Like, how dare you victimize women? It's hard because Trump, if you voted for Trump, you're a Republican, and you voted for Trump and you're a woman, he wants you gang raped.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, these people are so fucking nuts at this point. I thought we were going to have a little bit of this, right? I thought we were going to have a little bit of the up and down, but we are way more. I mean, it's way more than I thought
Yeah.
Tesla stations being burnt down, freaking people setting themselves on fire inadvertently while setting Tesla stations on fire, eating Teslas, congressmen turning in their Teslas for Tahoes. These people that are green energy nut jobs are like, I can't drive a Tesla now. I got to drive a fucking gas guzzling Tahoe because
Mm-hmm.
Elon and Doge. It's like you are fucking. They're mental midgets, bro. They are unbelievable. They're fucking morons.
Yeah.
They have no principles to stand on. They have zero, nothing. All they have ever done is grift and play off people's emotions. That's all they've ever done, right? Like, hey, we're going to give you a little bit more money in your welfare check, or hey, we're going to do more for the blue collar worker and we're going to tax the rich. They're playing off emotions. Meanwhile, they steal our fucking money and rob us blind.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they finally get caught, when it finally gets exposed, they go the complete opposite direction. You're fucking Hitler if you take away all their money, their slush fund. Like it's unbelievable. And their their base is so fucking stupid. They go right along with it, bro. They just,
Yeah.
hey, I'm going full crazy. Elon Musk, the guy like 7, 8 years ago, the first one to fucking put out a cyber truck and electric vehicle, who was the savior of the planet, so they thought, is now
Mm-hmm.
fucking Adolf Hitler. They won't even buy his vehicle. They're ashamed to be driving a Tesla. Like, you are fucking nuts. You're nuts.
Yeah.
You are absolutely fucking insane. You wanted to tax the rich. You just a year ago you were bitching and screaming about taxing the rich, and now you're finding out that we're being robbed blind, and you're saying, "Whoa, stop that. Let's continue to throw that money out and fricking, give the rich more money." What? What? Dude, they're nuts, and we had talked about this too, and I have very real worries for Trump. We had talked about it that
Yeah.
a long time ago, when if Trump gets elected, it's not going to
Mm-hmm.
stop because the left can't afford to have him in place. The deep state can't afford to have him in place because he's going to expose him, and he is, obviously, right. He's doing everything we said he would do, right.
Mm-hmm.
And we said they're going to continue to rile up their base. They're going to continue to freaking make shit up. They're going to continue to lie through and the media, Operation Shield in full effect, is doing the same shit, the same plays over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Sebastian Gorka and Jake Tapper. Did you see that one? Where
Yeah.
Sebastian,
I
where
sent that to you. That was amazing.
I'm finally Sebastian Gorka's like, I don't care.
More of that
I
shit
don't
needs to
care.
happen.
Yes, absolutely. Are you aware that MSNBC was, they have this level of about
Was a
Doge? He's like, oh,
New
you
York Post, right?
was it the
Or
Post or Times
Washington
or
Post? It was
Washington
one.
Post, New
Yeah,
York
it was
Times?
one of them.
Yeah, something about Trump and Doge, and Sebastian cut him off and was like, "Are you mean the same New York Post or Washington Times that was all Russia, 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 the hoax, the collusion?" And Tapper's like, "Well, all that aside," he's like, "No, I don't care about all that aside." He's like,
Yeah.
"I don't care what they think. Why would I care what they think? They're full
Well,
of shit."
he said, use a name or shut up,
Yeah,
and that's
tell me
how it
who's.
ended. That's how it
It's
ended.
an anonymous report from an
Yeah.
anonymous source.
Yeah. We've
You,
had enough of those.
yeah, tell me who it is or shut the fuck up. I
Yeah.
don't care
Yeah.
because there's no credibility to your
You lost
organization at
all your
all.
credibility when you tried to push the Russia thing.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, finally, someone on live TV telling them, hey, shut up.
Right. Yeah, we're done. We're
I
done with your
just wish
bullshit.
somebody would say that to Jake. Like, Jake, you did this. Have you apologized? Like, live on TV,
Oh
tell
no,
him.
never, never.
Well, I mean, why wouldn't someone get on there and
People
like,
have pushed
I wish
back
it
at
was
him.
Trump and somebody would just, somebody that they're gonna try to get on again, right? Because it's
Oh
the
yeah,
president.
right,
And just say, listen, have you ever apologized for this? But corner him, box him on live TV.
right. People have pushed back on him, but he always just
Yeah, he
deflects,
just
right? Like,
deflects. But
and he
just
always
you
says, "Well,
just gotta.
that was the information we had at the time." No,
No, it wasn't.
no,
No, it wasn't. It was
no,
never there. It was never there.
no. Exactly. You never vetted it. You never cared to vet it. You all took the same sound bites and talking
Hmm.
points from your freaking masters, and you ran with it because you had to be Operation Shield. That was what you do. That's what you're still doing,
That's
right?
what it
So
is. Yeah.
it's unbelievable, man.
Hmm.
And honestly, I like I said, I do worry about a lot of what's happening right now because they have pushed so hard that Orange Man bad and the Trump derangement syndrome. That's got to be an absolute At some point, we're gonna find that in a dictionary of like psychology. Trump derangement syndrome.
Do you saw that bill in Minnesota, right?
No.
The Minnesota Republican submitted a bill to actually put that in as a fucking mental illness.
Yes, we're heading that way, man. Like,
Well, for sure. But
look at
it's
what
just
these
funny,
people are
like,
saying.
mm-hmm.
Look at what these people are saying. Like, they're fucking stupid.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm. Oh,
it's just beyond like I don't know. Like I don't know how you can still be there.
I I don't know how the level of fucking programming that had to go
Mm-hmm.
through your brain, the
Mm-hmm.
brainwashing, the programming. Like, you had to be naive to begin with to believe just wholesale everything that these people were saying on TV, right? Like, the reason they put a pretty face on who can talk with a pretty voice is to make you swoon, to pull you in, to make you believe what they're saying. But the level that you went through for you to not understand, like, all these contracts that they're pulling out of Doge, the fraud and the waste, and like, for you not to see that as a benefit, you can't see. I don't even
Yeah.
know where to start with it.
And
It's
we're
like,
and we're not talking about the politicians that are
no,
towing that line because that's their grift, right? We're talking about everybody else that is not getting a cut of that money they're cutting.
the voters.
Yes, yeah,
Like,
yeah. How
how are you still?
how do you not see this?
Why am I seeing TikToks of
Mm-hmm.
you melting down saying that somebody has to assassinate President Trump? Why am I seeing it? Like, are you really that insane? Do you really honestly believe that? And the answer is yes. Yes, they do, to their core. They're fucking nuts, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And that worries me for Trump, because, and we've said it before, like, he's gonna come in and he's gonna do what's best for the country. And some of these people are so fucking psychotic, they just can't handle it because they believe anything anyone on the left says to them. And you still have reporters out there saying the reason why the left is mad right now, because you know everybody's going with the freaking instead of shutting the government down, that they're going along with the Republicans, is because that the Democrats aren't fighting back.
Yeah.
And he said, at some point we have to get physical with this. That's what they want us to do. Are you serious? You're calling for you on the left, who own probably a third of the guns in the country. You're
Mm-hmm.
saying that you want to get physical and fight back? Are you out of your mind? Look at
Yes,
your
they
voting
are.
base. Your Kool-Aid hair wearing ladies aren't going to show up to a gunfight and have any success. Why are you even saying that?
Mm-hmm.
Why? And the answer is because they want this. They want the narrative. They want to push. They want to push these crazy people into a situation. They're fucking paying them. How many things have you sent me and I've sent you where it's ads for people to protest in Washington?
Yeah.
They're they're paying them openly
Mm-hmm.
on Craigslist and on. It's fucking ridiculous. They want the narrative, like they had last time around, that there's all these people in the streets that just hate Trump, right? And
Mm-hmm.
they want Trump to be heavy-handed so they can point the finger and be like, "Look, we told you, he's a
Yeah.
dictator. He's acting like a
Mm-hmm.
dictator. We told you."
Yeah.
They're already starting it because Holman and the DOJ are deporting the freaking college student who had a green card. They're
Yeah.
already starting. Doesn't he get free speech? No, no, he's not a citizen of the United States.
Yeah.
He's here
No.
on a fucking student visa. He
So
fucking got a green card,
he gets free
and he's
speech. That's not what he's being deported for.
he's
He's
no, he's
being
being deported because
deported
he shut down
for
a university.
yes, for taking over a building. He's
And
being
like,
deported for the crimes that he committed there.
and I'm sorry, the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution, my Constitution, your Constitution, all of our listeners' constitutions of the people who are citizens of this country, we don't extend that to people who are not citizens. Whether you have a fucking green card or you have a student visa, I'm sorry, you're here. And once you're here, as long as you don't fucking go against our country, break rules, break laws, and use your constitutional rights to take mine away, as long as you don't do that, hey, you know what? You can stay and you are afforded almost the exact same constitutional rights as the rest of us. But if your stupid ass jumps up, riles a whole bunch of people up, threatens Jewish students on a fucking campus,
Hmm.
shuts down a campus so that kids who are paying tons of fucking money to go to college can't go to fucking class because they're afraid. You have police officers that are assaulted all because you believe in Hamas and you're Palestinian and you're here on a visa. Well, guess what? Go fuck yourself. You're out of here.
Well,
We don't need that.
yeah. So they do get the same rights that we get, right? They do not get the right to create the problems that they're creating, taking over buildings, throwing people out,
Right.
holding people hostage, all that. They don't get
You're
that
not
right, but they get
you're
all
not
the
an
other
American
rights.
citizen.
They get all
Right.
the other rights.
You are
You
not an
don't have to
American
be.
citizen. You are here. And when
Right.
you're in this country, the Constitution does not apply to you, but we do it like a quid pro quo, like pro bono to you, because we believe all human life is the same and everybody is striving for the
Correct.
American dream. That's what we do here. But for you to come into this country and just think you can do whatever the fuck you want and there's no consequences for you,
Yeah.
that's not how this works. You
Yeah.
are not a US citizen. We, just by the kindness of our own fucking nature, being the only free beacon on the planet, are affording you rights, but they're not real. They're not inalienable because you're not a fucking US citizen. So
Right.
once you cross that line, that's when you're getting your ass kicked out. Whether you have a visa, whether you have a green card's not a citizenship. It's a fucking green card. They can
Right.
revoke that shit and send
Yep.
your ass packing.
They can revoke it if you've committed a crime.
And
And
they
guess
will.
what? You
They
did.
should.
They
They
did.
absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep. Yep.
And it's insane to me. People are like, well, look, I told you they're a dictator. What about that guy's right to free speech? Oh, he had it. He had
That's not what he broke. He's not getting deported for his free speech right. He's being deported for the crimes that he committed.
it. Exactly.
That's
He
not
had a right to
the
free speech.
yeah, and he used it.
He used it.
However, he also took over a building. So that part's not free speech. You don't get, hey, this building's mine. No, that's not how this fucking works.
The problem with all
Yeah.
of it is,
Yeah.
the last time Trump went around, when they had Chop and Chaz and all that shit, he let it go. He was being advised, I think, poorly at the time to let it go. Right? Don't get involved. Don't be seen as the bad guy. Don't do that kind of thing. And he did. He let it go, and I think that's part of the reason why we're seeing this shit now. Right? They think, oh, he's not going to do anything.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? They are not fucking around. Those
They're
the three paintings or three pictures he posted in the Oval Office, that is a very clear signal that he is not fucking around this time.
Mm-hmm.
That's epic.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. Like, it just, the lunacy of it. Like, how do you get to how are you that fucking insane? How I don't.
Well, it's just believing what they've been feeding you, right? Like that's all it is. That's why. Because they believe for whatever reason that their side's not going to lie to them. I don't know. I don't know how else you can get there. That's got to be what it is. It's got to be what it is. You're trusting them, and you will not listen to the other side.
It's just blind trust, right?
Yes, I think
And
so.
I'm sure they look at us and like, oh, we're the same way. They have to, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they have to look at us
sure.
like we're fucking crazy, that we're stupid and we don't see what's going on. And I look at them, I'm like, we're $36 trillion in debt. The actual unrealized debt is 148 trillion.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And these fucking idiots are like, oh no, let's just keep throwing money around. We're not gonna have a country. We're not going to have a country. And maybe that's what they want. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe that's
so real fast. Touch on that unrealized debt. Just tell the difference.
So we have a whole lot of stuff that we're still paying for, right? Like Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security, and we don't count that against our national debt. We have a whole bunch of assets we pay for worldwide that we don't count against our national debt. What we count against our national debt is things that are passing through legislation and through budgetary items. But we have a whole bunch of other stuff like Elon's finding all over the place, these billions of dollars that are disappearing that are not realized debt, right? Our realized debt, when you total everything up, everything with Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, contracts that are overseas with, I mean, there's the list is numerous. I mean,
so
huge.
the biggest thing with the unrealized debt is basically the promises that have been made, right? So Social Security in the future, Right. It's all of that what they are going to have to pay out, not just what has already been spent. Right. So the national debt, the 36 trillion that people talk about, is what's been spent. The unrealized debt is stuff that we're going to have to spend if programs don't change. So that is 100 and what was it? 146 or
148,
120, 148.
148 trillion. And I mean, you got to figure it's
Well,
buildings,
that
it's
that
fucking
yeah,
contracts,
it's everything. Yeah,
it's
it's
food
everything.
for the military, it's
Yeah,
everything.
yeah, it's everything
And
that we know we're going to have to pay for, but it's not in a budget right now.
when you look at it, what we're doing right now is we're borrowing money from everywhere we can just to continue to float the debt we have at 36
Yeah,
trillion. And
yeah,
we're paying, that's not even we're a third, less than
hmm
a third of what
hmm
our actual debt
yeah,
ceiling is.
yeah.
And people don't get that. Like you think we're a healthy country. No, we're not. We are not. China owns 20% of our fucking country.
hmm
They own 20% of our national debt.
Yeah,
Fucking China.
and they can
That's
call
a
that anytime they want.
anytime they want. And I'll tell you what, if China, when they go to the WMF, the World Monetary Fund, when they go to the WMF and they apply to be recognized as a global tradable currency, when the yuan gets recognized as a global tradable currency, if they are granted into that, we collapse overnight. Hyperinflation beyond belief. We would collapse overnight. People don't understand that we make so much money in the world by trading, by others trading in our currency.
By them trading in our currency.
Right. So, like, if Russia wants to
hmm
buy something from Germany, Russia's currency isn't the same as Germany's currency, right? It's not. It's not the euro,
The
euro,
euro.
right?
Yep.
So, if Russia wants to convert and they want to make it even, you go to the U.S. dollar. They trade in the dollar, and so Germany has to trade the euros for the dollar, which finally we are worth more than the euro. Did you just see that?
Yeah, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah, because
So,
it used to be like $2 for
oh
every
man,
euro.
the last time I tried to exchange dollars for euro, it was like $1.35 or per euro. So I
Hmm.
mean, you were 30 cents in favor of the euro, but now I mean, since they took the pound sterling out, it's gone down, which that's
Well,
great.
the
But
pound
anyways,
pound pound sterling was never part of it. They always
um,
England always kept their own currency.
I thought when they were Brexit was the big thing. I want to look at that because
Yeah,
I'm
so
pretty sure.
Brexit, so they were part of the EU. However, they would not get rid of their money.
Yeah, so the pound sterling
Yeah.
propped up the euro.
They
They
propped
didn't
it up, but
accept the
they
euro.
never
They
yeah,
propped it
so
up.
that's why they didn't
That's what I
because their
that's what
money
I
was
meant.
always more valued.
That's what I meant because
Oh,
they were
okay,
propping
sorry.
up the euro, and then when they left, when
Yeah.
Brexit
Yeah.
happened,
Yeah.
they weren't in the euro
Yeah.
anymore, and the
Yeah.
pound sterling was no longer there to back it up, and that's why it's dropped.
hmm
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Anyways, so I mean, you have to look at this shit, right? So if China gets recognized by the IMF, we're fucked. Our currency is going to be pushed to the side. They already own 20% of our fucking national debt. They could call our debt in, and we would be absolutely fucked because then they would have the strongest economy and they would make all the money in trade, right? Like we make a percentage off every trade in the US dollar everywhere around the world that the
hmm
US dollar is used.
Yep.
And it is the single most used tradable currency out there. We'd be fucked.
Yeah,
It's
and
scary.
they've tried a couple times and they keep getting denied.
Yep.
So
Yep.
we'll see what happens.
And if I remember right, they go by your GDP, right? And they have to go by a series of, it's like two uh applications that you apply for. You have to show growth in your GDP. Remember when China devalued its currency,
Right, and that's why
right?
they got denied.
That's why they got denied because they were cooking the books to try to make it look
hmm
like their economy was growing bigger
And
than it
that
is, right?
and while it can happen, that's why they'll always get denied because they can at any time cook their own books and devalue their currency to fuck whoever they're trading with.
Mm-hmm. And I used to think the same thing that they could get denied or they will never be accepted.
hmm
Now I just don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
When you look at the state that Europe
yeah,
is in right now, when you look at how anti-Trump they are, and you look at like the meetings with Macron and Zelensky and Macron and fucking Merkel and You look at all these people all over the fucking place. Besides Poland, Poland seems to have their shit figured out. When you look at what's happening with Germany and Austria and the UK, I
Mhm.
I used to believe that. I don't believe that anymore. And the
Well,
reason I don't believe it is because it seems like everybody who's on the left worldwide is fucking lost. And the IMF is definitely far left leaning because they're a hop, skip, and a jump away from the World Economic
mhm.
Forum. So I mean, I used to believe I was right there with you. I used to believe yeah, it never happened. China can't because they can they fuck with their own currency to make themselves look better no matter what, right?
Yeah.
Now I just don't know because they're fucking crazy. I don't know. I don't know what they'll do.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see.
I
But I think
I
they're going through the same thing we are right now. They're just a little behind us with people rising up and saying no to it finally.
But you want to know the major difference? And I'm gonna stop you here. The major
Yeah.
difference is we're free. They're not.
Sure. Sure. Yep.
And that's
But
that's the major difference. When they're getting put in jail for 5 years for fucking a social media post,
yeah, but that shit is not that is a I don't even know the proper phrase for it, but that is going to come back hard on the
oh, it
liberals.
has to, right? It
You
has to.
know it's going to. So
It has to.
that was a bad move on their part for
I
sure.
agree. It has to. But
Hmm.
my fear is, and this is like the tactical me looking ahead, right? My fear is this: Trump goes in for 4 years and does what he can here. It catches on a little bit worldwide, and we garner support. What you're seeing, I mean, you're seeing Greenland be like, "Hey, I want to be American." You're seeing other places like, "Hey, we want to have this conservative movement," and it's not like these conservative movements haven't been there for a long time. It's been in Germany, it's been in France, it's the farmers, it's the blue collar, it's been there. It's in the UK with the freaking people who are going against all the gang rape stuff.
Hmm.
But the problem that they have that we don't have, A, they're not an armed population. They can't tell their government to fuck off. B, they don't have the right to free speech anymore. That was stripped away from them. C, they are all under a giant surveillance state. And D, they're all one European Union. So they're run by corporations. So
Sure.
even though they
Yeah.
have elected officials in parliament, they just are not free and they're being targeted on a level that no one has seen probably ever since fucking probably Nazi Germany,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, but then what happens? Like it that's still it's just the circular argument, right? Like you're just going to keep building that until it finally does. Like it's going to break.
Has to,
It's going to. It's going to.
unless
But it's already starting because look at what France did with the elections when they colluded. It was because all their representatives went all the representatives from the UN or for the EU were all conservative. And that's when they knew they had to for the parliament. So you're starting to see that change and that will happen. I mean that it just happened again in Germany. So you're starting to see that. It will snap back.
it's the hope, right, that it will snap back. But then on the other side of it, you have to pay attention and see what's the outside like. Right now, it's snapping back because they have a guy like a Trump figure that's worldwide gained so much support and pushing back on our side. The reality is, and I honestly believe this, like without a free America, none of those people exist. None of those groups in those countries will exist. They're not getting the light of day. The reason why they're being seen and it's being spread around to everyone else is because America is free and we're putting it on social media. They're
Right.
blasting it out on YouTube. They're blasting it out on all these sites. But you're only a generation away from freedom being robbed, and their freedom is gone. Like, yeah, they can come out and protest and they're gaining traction, but you're one step away over there, in my opinion, from one hard edged, hard lined, anti
Mm,
conservative movement to just smack you down like Mao did, or Hitler did, or Guevara did, or Mussolini, or Stalin. You're just one person away over there, and they've set up their whole fucking system to almost mimic that. I mean,
well,
if look at where they are. They are almost lock and step, minus the killing of Germany, the early 30s Germany, where it's like, no, no, no. We tell
sure.
you what you can say. You cannot talk about political figures. We tell you who you can arrest, whether you're police officers or not, and there's a crime. Your sentences are different. You, Pat, are getting 5 years for a social media post. You, the Islamist over here, are getting 18 months for raping four fucking underage girls.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
doing this already.
but yeah, I just think your argument is the same here. It's the same here. So like to say that you're worried about that there, like yes, you should be worried about that everywhere. It can happen here that quick.
It's happening. Well, I mean, it was. It was.
It
We were
was
heading
happening.
that
That's what I'm
direction.
saying.
Right.
Like you're arguing like
100%.
this like it like we're clear. We're not. You
No, no,
know?
no, no, no,
Yeah.
no, no.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. My fear is that after Trump gets his 4 years and we lose out, we don't get a JD Vance
Oh, I
and
don't
all
think
the
they
work that
lose
we've
out.
done. I hope you're right, man. I fucking hope so, but I don't know. I just the problem for me is that people in this country are inherently fucking stupid and inherently lazy when it comes to socioeconomics and politics.
Yeah, but the
Nobody
one go ahead, sorry.
nobody pays attention for very long. We have the fucking memory of an ant, of a gnat. And it's the news cycle moves so goddamn fast. My worry is that a lot of the things that are good that Trump is putting out there by the year 4, when they're gearing up to fucking have their next great candidate on the left be propped up by their media establishment, that a lot of people here will forget. I mean, for fuck's sakes, you already have these morons on the left arguing against Trump's tax cuts that are going to give no tips, no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, and no tax on overtime. What the fuck else do you want?
That's why I don't think we
Right?
lose. That's why I don't think they lose.
Well,
And that's because
I
he's done a good job with making the 60% favorability arguments his arguments. And so now you're
yeah,
pinning the Democrats against everything.
talk,
And so
he's talking to
that's what they're
normal
doing.
people.
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
He's
That's why
talking to normal
as
people.
long as that's the route they stay on and they don't take a fucking hard right turn, it'll be fine.
I hope so. I do believe you're right. I believe that as
But
long as they
they're
can
gonna
keep this momentum.
I have no faith in them not trying to fuck it up.
Yeah, it's because that's what we've seen, right? Our whole lives, we've seen it. Like, okay, it's going well, it's going well, it's going well. Oh, okay, we fucked up.
Yeah.
Right? It's that rubber band effect. You pull, you pull, you pull, and it
Well,
snaps back the other
it's
way.
you start getting away with a little bit, and you get more and more and more and more, and it's not even like one person just like, oh, let's just fucking do it. It's slow, right? It's like boiling a frog.
It's the progression, right? And I mean, right? Power corrupts, right? Absolute
Yeah,
power corrupts,
for sure.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's my fear too. And again, going back to the Democratic Party, that's why you need a Democrat Party that's not in shambles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You do
Hmm.
need we definitely need a 3-party system or a 4-party system, not just
Yeah.
a 2-party system. That'll never
Correct.
fucking happen, but
Nope.
we do need that. And that's the worry. And I guess that if that's fucking we're fucked if that happens. If they slowly increase that temperature,
Hmm.
we're fine. The frog's not going to realize he's boiling in that pot of water,
Right.
right? Until it's too late. But if they fucking turn up the heat real quick, that frog's out of the pan,
Hmm.
out of the pot of water, and
Yeah.
everyone's going to go the other direction. And that's the fear.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's my fear is we're going to get 4 years of Trump. Something will happen at the end, and the memory will be short for everything he did that was good before, and all of a sudden they'll elect a fucking moron like I'm not gonna say AOC, but some moron from the left, right? And they'll come in and they'll be in league with the the World Economic Forum, the EU, and everybody else, and then all of a sudden there you go. There's we're right back into the freaking shit again, and we're the slush fund of the world, and we're putting America last, and we're right back to being freaking the piggy bank.
Hmm.
And honestly, fucking slaves. We're getting taxed at what 30, 35, 40% between state and federal. I mean, it's fucking ridiculous.
Yep.
I don't know.
It is. No, I don't think you're wrong. I don't think I think that as you see this, especially with Doge, right? If Doge does its job, then I don't see them I don't see them coming back at least during the midterms. And then
I don't
once we get
either.
through the midterms, and then you can get everything that he wants done.
That's the hope, right? I mean, that's what we have to hit. I mean, like maybe slow rolling up until midterms, and after midterms he goes hard, or maybe he
I
goes
don't think
hard
he's
like we
slow
said right
rolling
off the
right
bat.
now. I think right now it's Doge. They gave Doge 18 months, right? So
Mhm.
we just gotta get. I mean, they're gonna be doing stuff. I mean, they already even the continuing resolution that everybody's pissed off about. Like they still cut money out of that.
Yeah. And I mean, what are you gonna? I mean, you have to.
You have to keep it going,
What are you gonna do?
but
Shut the government down? Like,
you're still cutting money out of it.
well, sure.
So it's not like it was whatever. I mean, it is what it is. You can't do it all at one time. It's like what we
It's
talked about with Massey. Like, listen, I
it's a mountain.
understand what you're talking about. However, unless you're gonna fucking vote for everything right in one time, which you guys are obviously
It's
not doing,
impossible. Yeah.
you can't. You have to at least give us a little bit of faith that this is the plan and this is the next step.
I mean, the mount. It's a massive mountain they're climbing right now. And
Yeah.
honestly, I said slow rolling, but what I mean by slow rolling is I'm waiting on freaking arrests to be made. You know what I mean?
Well,
Are we gonna get that? I don't think we are.
no.
I don't
I
think we
mean,
are.
maybe we might get some out of the Epstein stuff, but I don't think
I don't even know that
it's
we're gonna
not
get
going to
that.
be. I don't
I don't
know.
even know that we're gonna get that. I mean, we might get the information. The information that they gave us so far, I mean, it was already known information. They
Hmm.
can't the stuff that was redacted, you can't fucking unredact that. You can't fucking give out people's personal information. That's
Yeah,
doxing, right? You're
yeah,
you're not
yeah.
gonna do that. Like
Hmm.
that's calm down, everyone.
Well,
That's
you're going to
the
save you're going to keep the victims out of it.
And honestly, you could have gone on the .gov website with the Epstein stuff and seen all of the files that are already there anyway, but it's just all redacted. I mean, it's
Hmm.
fucking redacted beyond belief.
Hmm.
Show us what's behind the redactions and whatever.
Yeah.
Are they going to go after the Epstein stuff? I don't know that they will because they have so much
Uh,
other shit.
I don't
They
know.
have so much stuff.
Yeah, but they've
Like
got the people that want to.
yeah, I
Cash
don't
has
know.
said it. Pam said it. Bongino has said it. Like
I trust me, those are people
those are
I'm
the three
all
people in charge. So I think that it's not necessarily just slow rolling that part of it or like that there isn't going to be arrests. They still have to clean up because everybody's going to be working against them from the political appointees below them until they get down to the frontline people, right?
Mhm.
The people that are
and
actually there
and
to do good.
and that's why it's a massive mountain.
It's
Like
going to take a long time.
how do you in your 4 years clean up an agency of a couple 100,000 people to find the people
You
that aren't
don't
going to freaking
you gotta rely on 12.
right? And that's the hardest part of all of this. You know what I mean? Like that's the hardest part of this right now is it's you're relying on 12 people and there's more than freaking 100 cases that could be brought against politicians so far with Doge alone. The shit we found
Yeah.
that they've exposed. So I mean, they're in this pick and choose, right? Because the wheels of the legal system like are almost as fast as the fucking DMV. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
slow
Yeah.
in these situations. So I mean, I don't know. Are we going to see arrests? Like
Well, I
I
think the
used to
Doge
believe
stuff
it.
is too early to
Yeah.
judge
Oh yeah.
that
Oh yeah.
because they're gonna have to build the cases.
Yeah.
And
I don't
I
know.
think it was way worse than they thought.
Oh yeah. I
Like
was way worse than any of us thought.
almost easier to pinpoint than they thought it was gonna be. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
I well, I think they were shocked. I think when they
Yeah.
opened up the first, like, wait a sec,
Yeah.
it blew their mind. And you
Yep.
watch Elon on Rogan when he talks about it. Like
Yeah.
he's very honest about it.
Yeah.
That's one of the things correct me if I'm wrong.
Hmm.
I have not seen this level of transparency in any government in my lifetime ever. I mean, you're seeing
Yeah,
kids playing on
I
the
think that's
floor
fair.
of the Oval Office. You're seeing like it's almost like what it's supposed to be. If it's got a real 1960s feel.
Yeah, yeah, and that's not even really the transparency part of it, right? Like that's
No,
just like the
it
family atmosphere,
it's a
the
fam
accepting.
Right.
of families, right? The
And I think
pro-family administration.
and I think that's what leads
Mm-hmm.
to transparency because transparency spawned from morality, right?
Yeah.
And I think if you have that, what you're seeing right now in this Oval Office, what you're seeing right now in this administration, it is morality and it is spawning transparency. Like
Mm-hmm.
Elon Musk is just very open about what he's doing. Trump's like, yeah, I'm gonna let my guy do his thing. He's my
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah.
He's gonna do his thing. I'm in
Mm-hmm.
charge. I make the decisions, and anything that has to be cut is gonna go through Congress. But hey, Elon's doing his thing. He's gonna render a report. We're gonna get rid of it. We found all this stuff.
Yep.
It just, it's fucking crazy. It's way more than I ever anticipated.
Mm-hmm.
Which again, it's just like a mountain, right? I mean, you just
Yeah.
we're just constantly seeing them climb this mountain, and imagine like Elon has said numerous times he doesn't know if he'll be around much longer, right? He's this dude's in fear of his life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He's staying at the White House in his office on a cot because he probably thinks he's going to get killed
Yeah.
because he's doing the work of the people. He's doing what we wanted
Mm-hmm.
him to do.
Mm-hmm.
And nut jobs like fucking the wackadoodle that you put up there on that you posted on our site.
Yeah.
Who's going to do it? Who's going to take one for the team? Somebody's got to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do it. I'm a dance teacher.
I'm a dance teacher. I got things I
Yeah,
gotta do.
I got things that I have things I got to do. Right?
It's wild.
It is wild. The whole time you're trying to find all this
That's
crap.
a wild claim. I'm a dance
It's
teacher. I can't do it. I'm busy.
all right. I'm
Yeah.
my shit's way more important than some low life that
Yeah.
could
Yeah.
do it. So
Yeah.
I need you low life. You go do it. But what better way to point out that you're on the left than to say something like that? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
for sure. 100%.
It's like it's their motto. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if you they have nothing. They have no principles to stand on, and that's
No.
the common thread. And these poor people in our government are trying to do the best they can for us. And this is like I want
Mm-hmm.
to see everything do well, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they're uphill. They're uphill. They're going up a mountain, and they have the media in front of them. They got to get past the crazies that are fucking doing stupid shit in front of them. They got to get past the liberals on the left in the House and the Senate that are they got to get past. They have the money, pharmacy, big tech. They got green energy. They got all these fucking climate grifters that they got to
Yeah.
get across. Then they've got the world economic leaders that are standing against them that are mad because the grifts
Mm-hmm.
worldwide are gone. So they're pissed off.
Yeah.
And so like they're trudging uphill up the fucking side of this mountain and there's just so fucking much. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, it's crazy.
it's insane that what we saw was just the tip of the iceberg
Yeah.
and we didn't know that Mount Everest was below it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
we had
Yeah.
no fucking idea.
Yeah.
We all suspected, we had ideas, we had thoughts, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we had no idea just how terrible it was. It's just it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. It is crazy.
And we as long as you're freaking on the board of some mental health facility and you identify as a turtle, I'm sure all is gonna be well.
It's good to go.
Good to fucking go. She looks like a turtle, dude.
Yeah.
Legit. Looks like a fucking turtle.
Yeah. That's why there's a side by side of her and a turtle.
I did not notice that.
I guess a tortoise, I would think. Yeah.
I can see it. I can see
Mm-hmm.
this one might not actually be that crazy. This
It,
one might actually look in
no,
the mirror
it's
and be
still
like,
crazy.
you know what?
Still crazy.
It's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
The turtle's cuter, by the way.
Yeah. I think that, I think without anyone looking at the picture, they probably agree.
That's a big ass tortoise.
Yeah. That's an old one.
Yeah. You could tell. That thing's huge.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's talk Tom Holman.
All right.
Did you see because Tom Holman's Catholic? The media was asking him about what the Pope was saying about the United States and um us kicking people out.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see Holman's response?
I sure did.
Thank you, Holman. I think
I
the
got a
Pope should
message
worry
for the
about
Pope. Yeah.
Right. I think the Pope should worry about his own Vatican, worry about the Catholic religion.
Yeah.
He's got a wall around the Vatican to keep people out, does he not?
Yeah.
But we're not supposed to have a wall around our country to keep people out. Yeah,
Hmm.
maybe the Pope should just fix what the Pope could fix within the Catholic religion
Yeah.
and leave us to figure out what we want to do here.
Hmm. Yep. Well, he's from South America, right? So it doesn't really shock you.
No, no, it does not.
The Pope, I mean.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was not going to confuse Holman
Well, I didn't want
for.
anyone else to.
Speaking of South America, did the flight land finally? It
Yeah.
it did, right?
Have you not seen the video?
Mm-mm.
You've not seen the
No,
video of them unloading the prisoners and taking them to the bro. They set they've recorded the whole goddamn thing and they've fucking turned it into like a commercial to fucking deport yourself before this shit happens to you. I tweeted it, so look it out. Look
I
up
am
our.
looking at it right now.
It is
Bro, they're not fucking around. What are they?
no
Full tack teams?
the full military fucking yeah.
Well,
They
so
had everything lined. Everything was lined. You'll see towards the end of this video. It's like a 3-minute video. Towards the end of the video, you'll see them driving to the prison. They shave all of their beards, their heads clean. Like it is. I mean, they show all their tattoos and uh, it's uh it's impressive.
unbelievable.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a lot of equipment out there.
Yeah. It's hundreds, if not thousands of police and military units with
So it's
these.
MS-13 and Tren de Aragua, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
these guys are not decent human beings,
No,
and they're treating them like they're not decent human beings.
that is correct. They have helicopters flying overhead. They have, I mean,
It's also El Salvador, so I mean,
yeah. The streets are lined.
bro, the amount of equipment they have out here, it looks like they're getting ready for an invasion.
Yeah. Yep. And then the lined, honestly, it looks like a funeral for a police officer here. The amount of vehicles and stuff
Yeah, yeah.
involved in this transfer of 120 people.
Is it just 120? It says over 200 Venezuelans were
Oh,
flown to
maybe,
El
yeah,
Salvador,
you're right. It was way more
where
than
they were
that.
sent to a massive prison.
238.
El Salvador's president mocked the ruling posted by of the U.S. judge,
Yeah,
posting, "Oopsie, too late."
too late. Whoops.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
And
so
what the fuck is, man? Talk about that.
so the judge here he ordered a halt on deportation flights to of Venezuelan TDA gang members. So here's where it's going to get sticky because we deported them Venezuelans to El Salvador and you're legally supposed to deport them to their home country, right?
Mhm.
However, they didn't deport them to them. They deported them to a prison. So I don't know how that will play out. But they said under the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. So this has been used in wartime 3 times. And they're saying, well, there was no invasion and um there was no invasion and there was no war. We're not at a war. So that's the judge ruled that they couldn't. However, when they said he ruled that before they made the proclamation or whatever that they were doing that, and they said that they basically ignored it because they said, well, we haven't even done it yet, so you can't get ahead of us. Then they did it, and I'm pretty sure they did it as they were loading them on the plane, and they took off. Well, then they were in international airspace when the judge ordered the planes to come back, and they're like, yep, nope, we can't order these planes back. I think they were all Salvadorian planes. So like they're like, no, we already took credit for them, so they're already here.
Unreal.
Yeah,
And what I mean, so there's a couple sticky points there. I get it, right?
yeah.
But you're a federal judge. Are you trying to bring violent gang members whose motto. Have you seen what the Tren de Aragua motto is?
Why I probably
Here,
I can't think of it right now, but I'm sure I've seen it.
pillage, rape, murder.
Huh?
Pillage, rape, murder. Sounds like a friendly group, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, yes. The to answer your question, yes, he's trying to stop the deportation of them. Um, I saw that a rep has filed articles of impeachment against this judge already. Um, I'm just looking at, trying to look at more of this Alien Enemies Act.
The war thing gets me. I mean, I can see why the judge would be like, okay, wait, we don't have any of that going on. At the same time, like, what are you doing, bro? Very legal. Venezuela
Mhm.
doesn't want them back. Venezuela's told us no, right? They dumped their prisons, all of them did, and dumped their prisoners into convoys, into what are those, the migrant mass migration formations that were coming across the border, and they don't want them back. Why would you want them back if you're a president of some country, right? I mean,
Mhm.
you see that the crime rates in a lot of these countries since the Biden administration started is like completely fallen because they had a lot of their criminals leave. So why would you want them back?
Yeah,
And now you have a federal judge like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You, Mr. President of the United States, you're not allowed to deport anybody unless it's exactly by the letter. And I get that by the letter of the law, right? But
hmm,
exactly as I say. And the federal judge is like, bring that plane back. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have the
yeah,
power to fucking tell a plane to come back. Fuck you.
yeah. That's basically what they're saying. Like, it was out of our airspace, so we can't control it now.
Right.
Right.
I mean, they could say that every time a plane goes up.
Well, I
Sorry, it's
mean,
not
a
our
ship
plane.
too. Like, how are you gonna get a ship back from international waters? You
Right.
can't.
I mean,
You can't.
they have to want to come back, right? I mean,
Right. Yeah.
hey, please come back.
Yeah.
I don't know. But you're right. That is going to be a couple sticky points that are going to be fought in court for sure.
Hmm.
They got away with it on the first one. Now they got to figure out a new way to get away with something else because I'm sure that one's going to get shot down.
I don't. They might shoot down the that specific act, but I
Yeah.
don't think they'll shoot down them being deported to there.
No, no,
I
home
think they'll
countries.
what they'll say is, well, so without Venezuela, right?
Well,
So
what do we
you
do then?
you don't. Well, I think where you get around it, to be honest, we're paying El Salvador, right, to for this prison. So that's what you're going to do. Well, listen, that's where we're storing them until we can get them back to Venezuela
Are they going to be? And that's still again that could be sticky, right? They're going to be like, well, why don't you send them to Guantanamo? That's a U.S.
because we
province.
want to shut that down. I don't. I mean, you could say, well, we don't want Guantanamo actually being a long-term prison. It's right now we're using it as a staging area to get out.
How many? Do you remember how many terrorists are left there? It's not many, right? It's like
Like
less than a.
18.
Yeah, it's less than 100. I
Yeah,
thought
yeah, yeah.
that's
We
crazy.
can look quick, but I think
I
that's how they
think you're
can
right.
they can try to get around it because that prison is built to be like anti-terrorism.
Yeah. Oh man, that is so much shit. Like over 200, 200 people sent to frickin' El Salvador. The amount of fucking police gear and military gear they have on this tarmac is insane.
Yeah. So
Good on them though.
15 people remain detained at Gitmo
Fif 15.
as of January 6, 2025. Six have not been charged with any crime or offense yet,
They're
including
terrorists. Yeah, you don't.
including three cleared for release.
Yeah.
They're cleared to get released, but they're still there.
Oh, I'm sure they're bargaining chips, man.
Yeah. And nine with active cases in military court commission system.
And that doesn't even count the people that have been black holed. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
mean, those are just the people we put in Guantanamo that we know of, right? I mean, there's
Yeah.
other places that the CIA has the black sites and shit like
Yeah.
that
Yes.
people entered and who knows where they went.
Mm-hmm.
They're in a prison somewhere in like Russia or whatever, and they're never coming out. You know what I mean? That's kind of the thing that they one of the things that they kind of were going after back in the waterboarding days is these black sites where they were doing all this shit at, and they're sending people to all these places and paying off the prison systems in these countries to take these people. It's like, hey, here's $30 million, this guy never comes out, or here's a
Yeah.
100 million, this guy never comes out.
Yep.
Yeah, it's fucked up. It's when you think about it, like how what we did to those people, it's really fucked up.
Yeah.
We should have just killed them.
I mean,
That sounds terrible.
it probably been more humane.
That's exactly. That sounds terrible, but I mean, you should have just killed them on the battlefield. It would have been way more
Mm-hmm.
humane.
Yep.
That's one of those things, though, man. Like that's we talked about it a long time ago, like probably the beginning of the podcast when they started saying people were domestic terrorists when Tulsi went on that Quiet Skies
Yep.
list, and we were talking about what they were doing. They
Mm-hmm.
can put your ass away and not charge you for anything. They did it to the J6ers, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of them weren't even charged with crimes right away. I mean, some of them were still sitting there and still hadn't been charged with
Mm-hmm.
crimes. And that's they recognize you as a terrorist. Fuck, they do whatever they want to you.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're willing to do it to their own their own population, you know they're going to do it to somebody else. They
Mm-hmm.
don't give a shit.
For sure. For sure. Have you seen the Holman biting the apple, walking through the people yelling at him?
Mm-mm.
He's going through New York, like they met with, I don't know, some New York lawmakers, I guess. I don't know. And there were just a ton of protesters like yelling at him as he's walking through and he's just eating an apple in front of them. Like just walking by eating an apple.
He does not give a
He
fuck.
Yeah, they gave him the nickname Honey Badger. Gives zero fucks.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I mean, he seems like he is a little bit of a meathead. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like you catch on him like he's not the type that's gonna outthink you. He's the type that'll fucking beat your ass. Like that's kind of what you see on him. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
except
that's
for
not him.
he does outthink you.
He does outthink you,
Yeah,
right? So like
yeah.
when you see him speak and you see
Hmm.
him like you're like, oh, this guy's not that smart. But then you
Yeah,
get in the ring with this guy and he's like, oh, intellectually, I'm going to outbox you for 12 fucking rounds.
yeah,
And you were
yeah.
going to feel like a child afterwards.
Like he did to AOC during
Yes,
that
he's
hearing
so
about it is not a crime, and he just keeps
absolutely
quoting the statute. Yes,
right.
it is.
Yes, it is a crime. I mean, I don't know. I'm a fan. I
Yeah.
love seeing people like that just they're like, no,
Yeah.
I'm doing my job because it's my job. If you don't like the fucking
Hmm.
laws, change the laws.
Change the laws. Yeah, and he said that
And
in
he
Congress.
said that, yeah,
Yeah.
numerous times. If you
This
don't
is the
want it to be
law.
illegal,
Yeah.
yeah. If you don't want it to be illegal, change it. You have the power to do that, but you won't,
Yeah.
because then you're not going to be voted for when that comes around. That
Correct.
okay,
Correct.
yeah. I don't know. I like him. He comes across as a meathead when you talk to
Hmm.
him, and then you don't realize like yeah, he's just as physical as he is mental. He is smart and he could beat your ass.
Yeah.
That dude
For
back in the
sure.
day, I bet you he could take care of his own for sure.
Yeah.
And I love the no fucks given attitude. That's awesome.
For sure. All right. What else you got? Actually,
Uh
we have 2 minutes.
well, did you see the your robot dogs? They've made it to Ukraine. They're on the battlefield in Ukraine.
What?
Yeah.
China
You're
sent them or
fucking
what?
I don't know where Ukraine
What
got them,
side
but
are
they
they on?
now
Oh, Ukraine has them?
Ukraine has
Oh my God.
a small fleet of the robot dogs that are on the ground in Ukraine.
All right.
I just
So
watched.
for a just thinking about this, talking about how you would defeat them before when
Yeah.
we discussed them. Like an EMP is the easiest thing. That's nothing for Russia. They don't care. They're the invading country, right? So
Yeah.
when we talked about, well, you don't want to do that, you're going to take out your entire infrastructure. That was if China invaded somebody with them. Well, if you're defending your country with them, what they need to do is they need to, if they really wanted to get real about it, throw them in Russia and then watch the Russians just destroy their own country. Yeah, that's not cool, man.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. I just
Send
you
me
guys
that.
can't see it, but I just sent or I showed Pat on my camera the story from Forbes.com.
Forbes.
Um, yeah.
Let me see. I got X pulled up when we're doing this so that we can send out the stuff at the same time. Be smarter, maybe. Then I don't have to remember and just forget. Just not do it. Just be like, yeah, I forgot.
I don't know what level these dogs are, but you know what Ukraine's done with drones just as well, just as much as I do, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's a short travel path for these guys to be putting the other shit on them.
Those that manufactured by British company. They're probably gonna break.
So yeah, robot dogs. They're the remote control right now, but like I texted you on the break, it won't be long. I mean, these defense companies that are creating these kind of dogs, they're gonna want to show their product, right? And they're probably running out of time to get their stuff in an actual combat environment where it can be field tested. Like the amount of shit that we saw in Iraq and Afghanistan that was like field tested shit was insane. So I mean, your robot dog with its freaking advanced systems, if the ceasefire doesn't hit, it could eventually make its way into combat. And I didn't think it was anywhere near.
Yeah, so now these ones are just used, they're using them to inspect Russian trenches and detect mines. But
Mm-hmm.
you're right, it's only a matter of time, and they're getting field experience now with these
Did you
things.
see? Did you see the video? They scroll through the rest of the article and see the video down below where they have
No,
an SA-80 mounted on top and they've got white
no,
phosphorus canisters on top.
nope. So I haven't seen any of that. I just looked it up on
Dude.
X, and I've got a video here that I'll post, but it just shows them dropping them off and what they're doing. They can pick them up with a drone. So the video I have has them picking them up with a drone and moving them.
Oh, they're moving them with the drone?
Yep, the drone comes down
Wow.
and latches onto the dog, and it takes off.
That's insane.
Yeah, I think I posted it.
Honestly, like this would have been really cool to have, like the cats in Afghanistan that were walking around and getting blown up with IEDs. If you could have this on the ground first
Mm-hmm.
to go ahead into the dangerous areas and take a look, make sure you're not walking into an ambush. I mean, that's
Yeah.
fucking cool.
Yep.
The video on the in that article, if you scroll into the article and you look further down, you see a video that basically is it's the typical cool guy video that they're trying to show off their product, but they've got an SA-80, which obviously that's the British weapon of choice, mounted upside down on this thing. And then they have a six pack of um you could deploy smoke, you could deploy white phosphorus, you could deploy some kind of canister grenade or something like that off the top of the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have one that looks on like the turret of a futuristic tank on top of it. And that gun on it is pretty it's bigger. And it does say it's got a remotely operated weapons turret for the armed drones.
Yeah.
And it talks about how we have not yet moved to deploy such machines. The U.S. military hasn't, and the reason we haven't is because they're not field tested.
Yeah.
You don't deploy something like this unless it's field tested, which is
Here's
like
your
what I was
field
saying.
testing.
That's it, right? And this is how you do it in a live theater where you take your prototypes and you get them out there. You see if you can mass produce it and see if it can do what you say it's going to do. And it's crazy. I didn't think we were this close to seeing something like this.
Yeah, this is wild. Yeah,
Battlefield.
so I just reposted two videos. One of them is a the video talking about what they're doing. Um, and then the next video is the drones. The Ukrainian robot
Dude,
drone transports a robot dog.
that's the future of war, man.
Yep.
That's crazy. It's terrifying.
Hmm.
Like, can you imagine you have 40 or 50 of these drones coming in? Say it's finally they do have weapons on top, right? And you're a
Yeah.
Russian in a trench somewhere, and you look up and you see these fucking drones bringing in these robot dogs, and then the drones land and take off, and there's no robot dog on the drone anymore.
Hmm.
I mean, can you imagine like the oh shit factor that has to hit at that point? Like, oh fuck,
Yeah.
can I
Yeah.
outrun it?
There's not a lot you can do. I don't know.
No. Can I
I
outrun it? Is the battery
how
is it going to last longer than my lungs are? Like
I don't how fast do they move?
9 miles an hour is what I saw on this thing, which
Is
it's
that
not
it?
terribly fast.
That's
Yeah,
not
that's
that
not,
fast.
but sustained for over how many miles? I mean, how long? Like, that's what gets
Yeah.
me.
I wonder what
How
the
long is the,
I wonder what the durability of it is like as far as like navigating terrain. Like is its leg gonna get stuck in a log?
you
You
would
know what
have
I
to
mean?
think so. You'd have to think so, right?
I would think, but I don't know. Would
Does it have
guess that's
enough?
what they're trying to figure out right now.
Yeah,
Like
exactly. I mean,
if
this
it
is,
has enough note that listen, the left leg is stuck. We got to use the other three to get this one out. I don't know.
well, I mean, right now it's piloted, right? I mean, it's a remote control.
Sure, but it doesn't look like it's got a 360 camera on it.
I don't know how that works. It's got to have a camera at the front. It's so I mean, you're limited in what you can see.
Yeah. So that's why I'm wondering if like the actual robot dog itself would communicate back to the person controlling it like this area is stuck
I don't know.
with sensors on the legs or whatever.
I would really like to see one of these things like for real in action just to see what it can do on like a
Hmm.
demonstration.
Yeah.
'Cause this is just when we saw the thing in China where they were going to put thermobaric weapons on the top and they
Yeah.
had the
Hmm.
head hunting 100% accurate all the time. I mean, they were fucking booting those things
Yeah.
and the freaking crosshairs never came off the target's head, right?
No. No.
I mean, they were putting those things through the ringer, and that robot dog that they have, which did you see the video of those the Chinese military unit that was showing off the hundreds of
Oh
them that
yeah.
they had?
Yeah.
So I
All
mean, think
marching
about
in unison.
yes, think about
Yeah.
that. And those were autonomous. They're autonomous. They're not remote controlled. So they're AI controlled. I mean, they program what the target is, and it just goes indiscriminately. I guess I have no fucking idea, but you would think at some point, like when you're deployed, you have the Geneva Conventions that you have to worry about, right?
Yeah.
You can't go outside of it. You do. I'm sure people have, obviously, right? But it's a war crime. You don't want to go outside of the Geneva Convention. These things got to get put on the Geneva Convention at some point. Like you can't have something like this that decides to kill or doesn't decide to kill based off of.
Hmm.
I just I don't know. Like what? How are you going to differentiate between you and I and enemy? You know what I mean?
Right.
If we both wear multicam, what the how is it going to fucking know?
Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, because it looks like I mean it's just thermal. The image I saw was a thermal image. How the fuck are you gonna?
I don't know. So this robot dog is a rebrand of the Chinese one. The Chinese is called Unitree, and
Okay.
it's more expensive.
I bet it does more.
Oh wow, yeah, man, it's crazy when you look at where warfare is going. Uh, the war on terror, GWAT, right? Global War on Terrorism.
Hmm.
What that did is it really changed a lot of things medically in the United States, how to treat traumatic injury and how to best preserve life with traumatic injuries.
Okay.
And it really, really, really solidified close quarters combat because that's what the majority of our combat was close quarters. It was cities, it was urban areas kicking indoors, and then it redefined what weaponry we needed for extended long distance engagements in Afghanistan. So, in essence, what GWAT did wasn't so much a technological advancement because we were fighting an insurgency mostly, right?
Yeah.
So, what it did was taught us how to locate somebody through electronic warfare tactics like cell phone signatures. And then it built our skill as a military in going into these buildings and getting in firefights and engagements and coming out on top. There's probably nobody on the planet right now, no military veteran corps on the planet that has as much training and practical application of room clearing besides us and maybe Israel at this point, who has the numbers who've gone in and kicked doors down and actually like cleared rooms. And then again, the medical learnings, the lessons learned coming out of Afghanistan and Iraq off the battlefield, that's changed how we triage even at the EMT level. And the products and stuff, the advancements we made in that regard, look at like the hemostatic dressings and all that kind of crap, that all came from the military. Using tourniquets first, don't ask questions, put a tourniquet on a heavy bleed, like that all came from the military.
Yeah.
But now what's coming out of like Russia and Ukraine is not just like combat experience on, with the line guys going in there and kicking down doors and fighting hand to hand in close quarters. It's technological fighting where you don't use a soldier to kill another soldier.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's what
That's insane.
just doing what these dogs are doing in Ukraine right now. It says in this video I posted, it said that it take 3 to 5 soldiers to do the same thing.
I mean, that's a
Uh-huh.
huge force multiplier.
Yeah.
Huge force.
Well, especially when you have to force everyone in, draft
Yeah, I
everyone.
mean, dude. Did you see the latest video? Was it you that sent me that where the dude was fighting in his car for his life? He was getting drug out by two old
No, I
guys.
haven't seen that.
Scripted. Oh, if I can find it, I'll send it to you. But
Oh, that's
his girlfriend
terrible.
is filming it. His girlfriend's filming it from the passenger seat of the car, just screaming, and he is like giving it all he can to not get drug out of his car by these two old dudes who are trying to throw him into the front lines. But anyways, going back to it, like imagine. So you said it takes 4 or 5 guys, right, for this to do
That's
what?
what this video says. Like,
And
obviously, the video is put out by the person making them.
I believe that though, because if you're going into a
Good.
trench to
Yeah.
find stuff, you need to go with a squad or a small unit or small team, right? That's small team tactics,
Or you're finding the mine,
right?
right?
But yourself,
You're not. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. You're not doing it solo.
you're stepping on mine and or
Yeah,
you're
I mean,
locating it with a
there's a
team,
couple ways you can do it,
right?
right?
Well, we've seen it. We've seen the guy with the stick
Yes,
fucking
yes,
hitting the
yes,
mines over
yes.
there.
The
Like,
guy laying on the ground hitting it a stick.
well, the caption was what? It was he
Yeah,
gave me
what?
attitude, so I made him go out and
Look, clear minds.
clear mines for he's no more attitude from him. And he's
Yeah,
legit hitting the fucking mine with a stick to get the
yeah.
dope hopper to blow
It's
up.
not even. It's like a 6 foot stick. It's
Yeah.
not far enough.
No, it's not. It's not. But I mean, think of the advance on this thing. You drop this dog off, right? And you bring your drone up overhead. The dog goes in where the drone can't see,
Hmm.
locates 10 or 12 Russians in a bunker, right? The dog then sends up some sort of GPS coordinate to the drone. The drone, coordinates with the dog. Now you bring in your killer drone and just fly that drone right down into that hole and detonate it. Now you have
But now
a
you're
bunch
still
of dead
using
Russians.
3 guys.
Yeah, I guess. Just way the hell
Just
back with no
drone
use of
pilots, essentially.
right. Right. Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
if you were to do this the way we would have done it, we would have put in a recon team. We would have went forward of everybody else. We would have laid there and watched a suspected area for probably 18 hours to see if there's an actual trench line there, right? We
Hmm.
would have infilled in the dark and exfilled in the dark. So we would have waited a whole day and a half to freaking exfil. So probably for us, you're looking at closer to 20 hours. And then we would have marked the spot. We would have came in with an Apache or a follow-on attack. We would have hellfired it if it was an Apache, or we would have brought in a ground attack, and then we would have broke contact as a hard compromise and got the hell out of there. So I mean, you could do the same job that a scout team can do. You're doing it instantly
Yeah.
without the fear of losing soldiers.
Yeah.
$16,000 a pop if you lose one of these things.
Which one? The one from Britain?
Yeah, the Britain dog. The Chinese one is $4,000.
Hmm.
The British dog is 3 times more expensive, and honestly, it looks like it's 3 times less dangerous.
Yeah.
The Chinese one is just ominous,
Well, I
bro.
think that's mainly because of the gigantic weapon system mounted to the top of it.
Yeah, yeah.
And this
And
one
I,
has
I
this one has like a little fucking coat.
I hate to say it, like they're ahead of us
Well,
in the
100%
AI
there.
race.
Yes, yes, they are.
In the AI weapons race, they are ahead of us right now,
Hmm.
and it's terrifying. Because remember, what was it like? Maybe like what 6 months ago when we had the plane fight a fighter pilot,
Oh yeah.
and the plane won, right? I mean, it they wouldn't
The
say it at
the
first, but
AI the AI
the AI
pilot won.
won.
Yeah.
Well, of course it is. He's going to fly to the max of the exact specifications of that plane, right?
Well, it thinks
Where
faster.
it thinks faster, it flies to the exact max that it can, and at the same time, it's not going to be subject to the physical pressures of G force of the G force that a pilot's going to be, right, making tight turns. So this plane, if it can do exactly what the plane is designed to do to the max of that plane, thinks faster and has no physical effects on it whatsoever, other than just the normal wear and tear and drag on a plane. Yeah, there's no way you can beat that. But think if we're doing it, China's got to be doing it too, right? I mean, they got to be just as far ahead.
Hmm.
I thought you'd get a kick out of that when I found that story. I was saving it for you because I was like, oh my God, Pat's dogs are in freaking Ukraine. And yeah, it's a limited run of,
Yeah.
limited tech. But like I said,
But it's
it
only a
won't be
matter of
long.
time before that mission creep happens.
Exact. I love that you said that. Mission creep happens. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Hmm.
Exactly. Kind of cool, man. Kind of terrifying at the same time. I honestly like the whole landscape of near peer war has changed. And I don't know like what people understand what near peer is. And near peer is like an army just like you, us in China, right? They're near peer to us. They're our peers in combat. So they have a uniformed military with uniformed equipment. They got tanks, they got naval ships, they got, submarines, and they've got aircraft, missiles. They got everything that we do. We have more of it. They have some pretty advanced stuff. But this has changed what near peer is now. It's now you don't just have to worry about who's got the better trained infantry, who's got the better trained special operations, who's
Hmm.
got the better trained pilots. Now you also have to worry about who's got the better AI technique or advancement, and you have to worry about who's got the better stealth capabilities on their subs, their planes, their whatever. And you I think you sent me the thing of the AI that was in the water, the underwater like mini sub thing,
Yeah,
the attack sub.
no, it was Stingray
Yeah, it's
or
meant to kill subs, right?
manta ray,
Manta ray,
right?
and it's just
Yeah,
meant to
it's
go find a ship and blow it up,
just hunt subs.
dude. I mean, that's fucking crazy. And
Hmm.
it's AI run, right? It finds a sub and
Yeah,
blows it up.
yeah, and
I mean, that's
then you had the Starlink that was able to create a
yes,
mesh network under the water.
that, that's right. Yeah, it knows where everything is.
Yeah, it will know
I
where
mean,
everything is.
that's wow. I mean, I don't even know like you can fight that. That's us though. We have that, right?
That's us. Yeah, that's us. The Navy had the manta ray, and then the Starlink was, I think it was a different. That wasn't with the manta ray, but it was just two underwater drones that were
Yeah,
able to communicate with each other and
it was
send
in that
back
same
the
article, wasn't it?
information. No, no, it
No?
was separate. It was separate. It was just that they had finally created an underwater, essentially an underwater network that they were able to communicate with each other and
A,
then back to
radar system, really, right? I mean, that's
Well, no, well, I mean, like a
terrifying.
Wi-Fi, not even a
Oh,
radar
what?
system.
Oh, okay.
They were communicating with each other, and then they were communicating back to the controller using Starlink. So
It's
now,
insane.
now you have real-time communication underwater in a drone.
Dude,
I don't
I
know.
thought it was like
I don't know at what depth that's at, right?
I
Like
don't even think
you
it
would
matters
think,
because if you,
well, you would think you'd have to have one on the surface. So if you saw
yeah,
the
for
one on the
sure.
surface, you're going to take that out.
I mean, well, you look at that in the capacity that you're talking about right now. I mean, that's so in order for China to get to the United States to invade the United States, you got to bring your Navy over here. You got to
Yeah.
bring your aircraft carriers close enough to neutralize our air power. You have to have some kind of an assault force. You have to either take land somewhere where you can use like as an airfield to launch your airborne troops from, whatever it will be, right?
hmm
Well,
Or
that makes sense now. Yeah.
Ben, you could just start buying farmland and then have everybody come across the southern border.
Yeah, that's terrifying. But we saw that, right? We saw Chinese people training with weapons
Essentially, what they were
near
doing.
freaking military bases.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I mean, and people don't understand that China subscribed to the package of total war, which is they're fighting us agriculturally, they're fighting us in the steel industry, they're fighting us economically, they're fighting us with resources around the world, they're fighting us with everything they can, as well as building up their military. And they said, Xi Jinping said he'll have a war with the United States by 2028, and that's fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
they're
Just
getting ready.
you just bring them in slowly.
Can you imagine that? Like that's how the war would start off. Like what was that movie? The Patrick Swayze movie from back in the day, kick-ass movie. You ever seen that? Where like
I don't know which
they're
one you're talking about.
they're a bunch of kids are in school and they freaking all of a sudden they look out the window and there's a bunch of paratroopers coming out of the sky and it was the Russians and I want to say maybe the North Koreans maybe jumped into the United States and attacked this small town. The fuck Red
Hang on.
Dawn.
Red
Red
Dawn?
Dawn. Yeah.
I don't think I've seen it.
Bro, what? That's a classic.
Bro, I led a sheltered life.
Yeah, Wolverines, Red Dawn. Watch that show. That movie is. They have a new one. I forgot about that. Yeah, they have another one too, a
Really?
remake in 2012. Yeah,
Mm.
the original cast for Red Dawn had Charlie Sheen and Patrick Swayze.
Oh my God.
I know it was actually a really good movie.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I mean that's essentially that's what you're getting. You if that would happen, and you getting all of a sudden the attack pops up right on your doorstep.
hmm
There's a bunch of freaking Chinese people already here.
Yeah.
I had sent myself a bunch of articles. We were talking about the insider thing. Um, the U.S. government stopped supplying our congressmen, our Congress, the House and the Senate with I got to get the name of the newspaper. Uh, the China Daily.
What?
Yeah, so it's been a thing for a really long time in the House and the Senate in Washington that they receive newspapers daily of like different areas, different
Oh,
things like
okay. All right.
worldwide, right?
Sure. Yeah.
They're trying to stay up on worldwide agendas and things like that.
hmm
Um, the China Daily was just stopped. They're the congressional offices are no longer receiving the China Daily. The
Okay.
China Daily was a CCP run huge propaganda machine,
Okay.
and for years, some people in the intel community have been saying that the Chinese are communicating with their own people here on our soil, like Fang Fang, through the China Daily on what they want them to do. They're called dead drops when you do things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, it was Brian Steele from Wisconsin. He's chairman of the committee on the House Administration. Uh, Basically said, no, we don't want this shit anymore. It's got to come out. And they finally got rid of the China Daily. but they've been disseminating it to people in Congress forever and a day. And then on the other side of that, you had people like um, Mitch McConnell and Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi and Adam Schiff. They all make a ton of money off deals in China.
Hmm.
And there's been a lot of speculation about this magazine or this news article, this daily article, and the whole like dead drop stuff um with the Chinese government basically owning our politicians.
Interesting.
And the people who complained about this magazine being stopped, the same people I just listed, were saying things like, well, how do you expect us to see what's going on in all these other places if you're getting rid of these periodicals? We don't live there. And the answer to that is you have intelligence communities for that. Your intel agencies are supposed to brief you. That's why you have a Senate Intel Committee. That's why you have, oversight of all these
Well,
things. They come
ho-
back and tell you what's going on.
hold on. That paper isn't putting intelligence in there.
No,
So you can just use the internet to find your shit.
whatever you like.
If you're
It,
looking
it
for intelligence, go to the IC.
Well, if you're looking for intelligence, you shouldn't start with the Democrat Party.
Well,
That's the
that's a
first one.
different kind of intelligence.
But yeah, I saw that and I was like, wow.
That's
That's
fucked.
I had no idea. Like I didn't know until I started talking to our buddy, like, hey man, like, why is this a big deal?
Hmm.
And then he kind of explained things, and I was like, well, no shit. Like that's how they were communicating with Fang Fang and all these spies in the United States. They put shit in coded messages, right?
Hmm.
and and their spies were receiving information through this publication that nobody knew. Obviously the spies knew, and the intel community believed this for a long time, and they still let the fucking thing come out. Like what?
It's
Why? That
fucking
doesn't sound
crazy.
very smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, man, we should freaking look into that. Actually,
Can we get
get some
that
more
paper?
information on it.
Should we get that paper?
And we get that. I don't even know if we can get that paper. I don't even know where you get
Can
it.
we get that? I could use some insider trading stuff.
Oh shit! Just follow Pelosi.
I
Oh,
think
what was
you
this
you
one?
actually have to be elected, otherwise you go to jail.
Yeah. Did you see Elisa Slotkin saying that MAGA people's brains are like teenagers; they're not fully formed yet?
Oh no, I did not. That's nice of her.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Democrat Senator Lisa Slotkin, Michigan, said Americans in the Trump era are like teenagers whose brains have yet to fully form.
Hmm.
We're about to turn 150 years old, right? We're still pretty young for a country. These are like our angry teenage years. We're going through this push and pull uh, where we're happy and we're sad. We want this, we want that. And what do you want? Or what do you have when you have a teenager threatening themselves and others? You just try to get them through this period alive so that their brain can fully form. That's kind of how we see the mega movement. That was on The View.
Interesting.
Yeah. She's getting absolutely obliterated. So
Good.
we have a we have a teenage brain. And then the last one I wanted to touch because this is fucking gross.
Yep.
Uh so it's all starting to come out now. We talked about it right away about George Soros and Macedonia. And oh, really? How's that playing?
What's that?
Um, that was an ad playing. So George Soros with the Macedonia with the Saul Alinsky's rules for radicals. Remember all that?
Hmm.
Um, he used the USAID to be able to get a bunch of money to go over there and give copies of rules for radicals to everyone he could. Um, I don't know if I took a picture of that. Did I send it to you? I think I sent it to you. Oh no, did I not save it?
Oh man.
We send so much stuff back and forth.
Yeah, we do. Yes, we do.
All right, so obviously it's coming out now. It was like I think he had 5 million that he spent on Rules for Radicals. He bought a bunch of copies for Rules for Radicals through the USAID funds. That's the number
Who's
they're
that?
giving right now. George Soros.
Oh, okay.
So he took Saul Alinsky's book, Rules for Radicals, disseminated amongst Macedonian youth, and just gave one to everybody. Whether you wanted one or not, he just handed it out, right?
Mhm.
And basically, Rules for Radicals was it's the manifesto or the playbook of how to be a rebel, right? And George Soros was teaching people in Macedonia how to be protesters and how to be aggravators. And there's something telling here, and I want to read this to you because I didn't catch this. I have Rules for Radicals, and I didn't catch this at the back. And I had to, after I saw this, I went back and looked at it. And yes, this is absolutely legit. So Saul Alinsky pays a tribute at the end of Rules for Radicals, and he has this to say: lest we forget at least an over the shoulder acknowledgement to the very first radical from all our legends, mythology, and history. And who is to know where mythology leaves off and history begins, or which is which? The first radical known to man who rebelled against the establishment and did it so effectively that he at least won his own kingdom, Lucifer.
Hmm.
That's fucked up.
That was fucked up.
That is fucked up. I mean, when you look at like what nastiness has been done by the people who believe in that shit that Saul Alinsky's putting out there, the George
Hmm.
Soroses of the world, and all the craziness, and then you start to see like that quote, like, oh, the very first rebel, he got his own kingdom, Lucifer. That's fucked up.
Hmm.
That's fucked up. When I put
Yeah,
it in
that's really
context
fucked
of
up.
like, I know, man, and I didn't even know that until 2 days ago. Like I never caught that.
Hmm.
Um, Hillary Clinton worked for Saul Alinsky. She wrote her
Hmm.
dissertation. She interned for him. Uh, her campaign manager, John Podesta. Do you remember what he got caught for on his emails? On the when all that stuff was exposed through WikiLeaks,
Yeah, you'll have to remind me. I do remember talking about it.
he hired Marina Abramovich,
Oh, that's right.
occultists,
Hmm.
and they did a spirit cooking, and they said it was performance theater, right?
Hmm.
And you hear all this stuff about these people being Satanists and everything else, and I don't know if they are or they're not. But when you see that the playbook that they're using, that they're trying to, has that at the back of it, and then you see the stupid shit they do, performance theater or not, it
Yeah.
makes me think that you're a disgusting, fucking, filthy human being. And then look at the shit you're spreading all around the world, let alone America, and it's fucking filthy and disgusting.
Mhm.
So I didn't know that, and I had no idea like that was at the back of Rules for Radicals. I have that book. It makes me feel dirty for having that book just to see like I read that book to see what the enemy playbook was that they're using against us.
Yeah.
And here that's sitting at the back of the book, and I had no idea. I never read the acknowledgments or any of the
Right.
freaking
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
thank you message. You know what I mean? I don't
Yeah, for
read
sure.
that. And a couple of days ago, that caught my attention because I saw it on X. I was like, no way. So I went and grabbed the book, and sure as shit, it's at the back of the book, and it kind of makes sense if these people are, if they do believe that Lucifer was the first rebel, and they are following in that footstep, not giving a fuck. Now you understand why they do what they do,
Yeah.
why they don't care, why they don't care about you or I. They just care about them. They care about their grift. And now the deep state to me makes a hell of a lot of sense.
Hmm.
What matters to the deep state is power and wealth, and that's it. They don't care about your health. They don't care if the drugs they make are killing you because they're just going to make another drug to try to help that drug,
Hmm.
help the symptoms that they just created. They don't care if the second drug they've made is going to make you sicker because they'll just make a third drug. They don't care if there's poison in your food. They don't give a shit. They're making money off it. And they don't care because they own stock in the pharmaceutical companies, anyways, these people in the food industries. Your
Yeah.
politicians don't care about you. They don't care if they're stealing your money and sending it off because they're getting money on the back end. They don't give a shit. And now it's become kind of obvious to me that at the heart of it, they just are dirty, disgusting, filthy people who, espouse those same fucking belief systems. They don't care about you. They care about themselves. They
Mhm.
are following that original rebel, which is carve your own way and get your own kingdom, basically, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And they don't care. They don't care what the fall was to get there, as long as they get what they want. And I think that's really telling for me anyway. As once I saw that, I was like, holy fucking shit. It might be a stretch to put that on all of them, but
Mhm.
when you see when you put the pieces of the puzzle together with like the Clintons and the Podestas and the pedophilia and the P Diddy and the fucking Epstein and all these rings and all these people that we know are rolling in the same circles, I honestly don't think it's that far of a stretch that these people, they might not, worship Lucifer, but they damn sure are using the same playbook and saying that, hey, what the fuck? He won his kingdom. Why can't we win ours? And that's disgusting if that's all you're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just, I don't know. It feels gross.
Yeah. It
Feels real
does.
gross
That
to me.
does feel real gross. I don't know any other way to put it.
Yeah. I had no idea.
I
I had
mean,
no idea until,
just putting that in your book is gross.
right.
You know?
Why put that
Yeah.
in your book?
What is the point of that?
Well, you're giving a nod to
If you're
Lucifer,
not,
obviously,
if
right?
you're not a sadist or whatever you call yourself,
Yeah, why?
there's no
Why?
reason. There's no reason to put that in.
None.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know. It's fucked up, man.
Yeah.
And like I said, it gives me a better perspective on why they're so openly doing the things they're doing, because they don't care. They don't care about you. They don't care about me, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't care about anyone else.
No.
It's not just
No.
us. It's
Oh,
nobody.
absolutely not.
Yeah.
And like always, we have to fricking stay on the course, man. When people are talking bad about the Trump admin and they're saying shit, let them know you're not upset. You're not unhappy with what's taking place.
Mm-hmm.
You want the waste, fraud, and abuse to be taken care of. You want Department of Justice looking at shit. You want, morality back in the Oval Office.
Yeah.
You want that family feel because that's leading to transparency. You want all of this crap brought back. We want to be living in that era, the golden age of the 60s with the Kennedys, before all the fucking shit started to, you know, manifest. We want to go back there. And I just don't think, like, obviously the media is portraying it like, oh, America's not happy. I'm not unhappy with what's going on. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Neither am I. This is what I voted
I,
for.
I don't know anybody who voted for Trump that's unhappy. This is exactly what I voted for. We just got to steer the course. And
Yep.
then, hang in there and see what they're doing as they climb this mountain, because it is a fucking mountain.
Yep. We just gotta. It's gonna take time. It's gonna take a lot of time. So
Amen.
yeah. But,
All right. Well, I suppose let's wrap this one up, brother.
yeah, man. But real quick, this is episode number 50.
Oh, wow.
We've hit 50 episodes. I thought for
Oh,
sure we'd barely get to 3.
yeah.
Here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
50.
Yep.
Let me know when we're at 100.
Yeah. Hey, let's get to 100 followers first.
Easier to get to 100 episodes.
We're at 36 followers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of that, everybody
Yeah.
knows somebody that would get into this. So spread the word. Get us some follows, and let people know. Tell them to try us out.
Yeah. That's all I got. Yeah. I'm going to let you.
Yeah. All right. Well, you can follow us on X, Truth, Instagram. We put out a bunch of reels on the speech. We put out a bunch of tweets today now for stuff that we were talking about that we couldn't play on here. So I'll try to be better about doing that sooner.
Yeah.
So,
We'll get on it.
yep. Right on.
All right. Well, everybody, thanks for joining in, and catch you on the next one.
Yep. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for listening to Blue Collar Takes. Oh, and fuck YouTube.